Alright YouTube, new design with me. I'm doing our wedding invitation, or at least I'm going to try to make our wedding invitation. It may not be perfect, and like all things, we may just change our mind and not want to go this way. But for now, this will be our wedding invitation that I'm making. I'm doing it in Illustrator, so it's super easy. This is my third time filming this video. Why is that, Alex? Well, the first one I got rambly and I didn't like, and I kind of goofed up, and Kayla was filming, and there's this and that. The second one, I thought I could turn my webcam off while I was recording the video so you could see more of the screen, but that turned the sound off. I don't know if you heard that. That turned the sound off. So 42 minutes later, I have a beautiful thing and no sound. So I'm doing it one more time. Never too many options, right? So let's get down to business. See, like right there, didn't have the camera on, no sound. Look at that. Horrible, horrible thing. Okay, first thing, right, we're going to do these on postcards because that's what you mail save the dates on. Not wedding invitations. I'm doing the save the date. Sorry. 5x7 is the size we decided to go with. So I made that the sign of my workspace. So first thing I'm going to do is take the shapey thing. Actually, I'll show you a cool way. You just click and say I want my width to be 7. I want my height to be 5. And bam, we've got ourselves a super duper box that is the exact proportion of 5x7. Yep, there we go. Our wedding color is a dark blue, so I'm going to just go with dark blue. We'll change it later. The other thing I'm going to show you is this invitation. We want to do a border around it, and I want it to be perfect. Now, what I could do is duplicate this box, put it right down in the middle like that, give it a nice white stroke around the edge. Do that. And using Shift, keep the proportions the same. Using Alt, so holding down Shift keeps the proportions the same, like this. Holding down Alt will keep that center dot right here in the center, so when I'm shrinking, it shrinks in from all sides. And I could do that. The issue is if you notice this space is smaller than the space here, and that's because it shrinks proportionately to when you shrink this way. So this isn't going to be an inch. This might be an inch and a half. This might be an inch. It's 5x7 is the ratio shrinkage, and it's dumb and we hate it. So the better way to do this is dupe it again. So your background color stays blue. Then what we're going to do is place it in the same spot. Get rid of your inside color. You'll see what I'm doing. I'm not crazy. Get a nice white stroke. Figure out how thick you want your border to be. And then go ahead and select this. And then you go to the Effect tool. Go to Path, Offset Path. Bam. What does that do, Alex? Well, I'll tell you, my friend. Offset Path. So Offset Path will take this outline here that we've got so nicely selected, which I selected the wrong one before. Go to Effect, go to Path, Offset Path, Preview so you can see what's going on. It will take, that might be a little much, let's do 0.3. What it will do is it will take, the path is still outside this blue line that you're seeing on the edge, specifically here with the dots. That is the path, meaning where the information should be. But by offsetting it, I'm saying go 0.3 of an inch inwards off of this path. So it makes an even gutter around the whole border, which gives you more room and looks more professional. Now, this looks good for the card, but remember, when we print, because we're going to be printing edge to edge on this postcard, some of this is going to need to bleed off of the page. So we're actually going to, let's bring it in a 0.4, and that will give us just a little extra buffer that we don't really need in the card, but we need when we print. Now, the joins, I don't know what any of this actually means, but I'm sure you could Google it. I just know how to use this for this point. So we hit OK, bam. So we've got a nice inset there. The next thing I'm going to do is add some flourishes because, again, I'm doing this for personal use. And we actually saw a card that we really, really liked. And it had these in it. We can do all this fun stuff in a second. It had these corners on it, and I liked them. and I wanted you to like them. So we're gonna bring that right there. We're gonna zoom in, we'll move it up a little, just so it sits directly. Let me do it. Okay, close enough. Still a little bump. You'll never notice it in printing, and I'll do something to get rid of it in a second. So, why am I drawing a line on top of a line? I'll tell you. Shh, calm down, people. Okay, what we're going to do is I'm going to stretch this out a little bit longer. We're going to make this maybe a size 4 font, or stroke, sorry. I needed more coffee this morning. So we've got this handy dandy thing. We're going to take the rotate tool, and I'm going to, normally, you see this little blue dot in the middle? It's kind of like this teal. And what that will do is let you rotate around that point. We don't want that. We want the point to be over here, and so we can kind of create steps and do like kind of a nice Art Nouveau, Great Gatsby look. But the issue is, I want it to be perfect. This is my wedding, right? And I'm not going to just leave it a chance that I get the spacing right. So by holding down the Alt button while I have the rotate tool selected, I will place where the rotate tool will occur. So it will rotate around this point, and it will bring up the dialog box after I click it. And the reason why that's important is it will let me do some quick math. And this is one of those times where my math teacher's right. So we know we have a 90-degree angle, and I'm going to want to put, let's say, 10 of those little dashes in the corner. Oop, that's not right. So we're going to divide that by 10, which anyone could have done in their head. It's 9. So we know 9 degrees is the increment that we want to do it at. And now we've got this preview, and there you go. We're going to hit copy. And now that we've copied it, we've got a line here and a line here. And now I can hit Control D, and what Control D does is it will duplicate the last move you did. So it duplicates that I copied and moved it 9 degrees. And we can just dupe it all the way down. Now, in our corner, now I'm hitting too many buttons. Gosh darn. In our corner, we can see that we've got this nice effect. I think, 1, the shape's too long, and 2, it might be a little much, if you feel me. And that looks much better in the corner. Still might be a little too big, but I really do like it. Now, remember when I said make your white box clear on the inside? This is why. Oops. We're going to select everything, deselect the background. So now we've got this white box selected in the corner. And this is so we get everything perfect. So we're going to right-click, transform, reflect, and so we're going to bounce it across, but because the inside is clear, when I do a copy, you're going to see through the first one to the second one. So there's like 2 white lines here, but because they're exactly on top of each other, it looks the same, and now we have the top and left done. So now we're going to do the same exact thing. Transform, reflect, we're going to go horizontal this time, we're going to copy it, right click, transform, reflect, we're going to go vertical this time, and we're going to copy it, and now we have a perfectly even, exactly in the same spot, each corner shape to start our save the date. That looks good. I'm going to highlight everything, I'm going to group it together so I can't goof it up by accidentally clicking around. Next thing we need to do, throw some font down. Save that date. We didn't actually go with that. I argued for it, but save the date. Make it big. Make it white. Just so you guys know, our wedding colors are blue, white, a touch of yellow, and a touch of red, which could be confused for red, white, and blue, but that is definitely not the feel we're going. But that is why we're doing it, because it's a wink at the military, not a whole, you know, because my family. But cool. It's actually Kayla's idea. It was really sweet of her. So we've got that in the middle. Now, the thing, some people know from watching the vlog earlier, I tend to struggle with font choices. And I found a really cool way for me that I can kind of go through and find out what font I like. And it's by selecting it. So we're going to take this font, we're going to click up here, we're going to go through. And the moment we see a font that we like, I'll show you what we do. Going through, going through, going through. By the way, the style of our wedding is going to be supposed to be the Kennedys, in the sense that like a nice, simple, not fratty, but like what fratty tries to be, that nice, classy looking, elegant wedding. So that's why I think we're getting this Great Gatsby vibe starting to come through. Maybe a little Art Nouveau in a second. See what we get. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling out the fonts I like. I'm just duplicating the font, sliding it down, going back up here, and then continuing on. This way I can see the fonts I want right next to each other, see kind of what I'm working with to pick. And the reason why I'm able to go so fast this time is because sitting right back here is the one I designed totally in silence without my audio on. So this was the one I designed before. There's actually one before this one. Nope, I got rid of it. That's another thing I'm working on. But here you go. This is the one I've already made. And this was totally by accident. This ribbon was not supposed to be there. We're going to try and skip the ribbon because we already have one, so I'm going to make another variation so you're not missing out. I just happen to know the name of all the font that I kept picking through. So now we've got this one. Okay. So I think we've got a couple good fonts to choose from. This is a little more Art Deco. This is kind of like, looks like a sign. This is definitely that 1920s Gatsby feel. But I think my favorite is going to be this Market Deco. So, but I'm not going to get rid of these. I'm just going to move them all over to the side so I can play with some different options. Now, so you guys know, I do happen to get, oh, I don't have it open. I do get all my fonts from dafont.com. When I use them commercially, meaning not for myself, I definitely pay for them. And the reason why I like dafont.com is you get some really great fonts for about 10, 12 bucks per font. And you can use them as much as you want. Well, it depends on the license the person has, but you can use them as much as you want. They're super, super awesome. Totally recommend dafont.com. That's DAFONT.com. Personal use, you can download them for free. So you can get all these fonts, see if you like it, and if I'm designing, I'll go download a font, see if I like it. And if I like it, then I'll go back and buy the commercial license because I'm about to sell it. And again, it's only 12 bucks. And it's always good to support people. That way, you know, it keeps fonts flowing, right? Can't design stuff. Ain't nobody got time to design a whole font and a project. So now we got this super cool save the date. Want to give it a little bit of flavor. Now, this is like anyone who's used Microsoft Word, the word art back in the Dizzle. This is very similar to that. You click on this, and it's going to let you change the way the font looks. So you can do an arc, you can do a bend, you can do whatever you want. We're going to go with the rise because I think it's a nice, subtle way to add a little bit of style to this invitation. Also, maybe the stroke on these might be too big. Or again, they might just be too big in general. We will see. But now I've got this save the date. Let's go ahead and take the text. Again, go as wide as we can, or as we feel comfortable. I'm actually going to fix this before. No, give it back. There we go. Drag it out to one side. The reason why I'm doing this is, if you notice, like for this one, the way this curve is so subtle is because I did drag the box out. Because how the box works is it goes flat and then to another flat area. That's what a rise does. And then it curves between it. Had that box been smaller, that curve would be much more noticeable. And I wanted it to be, again, just a nice flowing curve. And that's true for the text here, which will be perfect. I'm done. We don't need to do anymore. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so now we've got this. First thing we need to do is let's get that white selected. Let's drop that size to a reasonable size. That bounding box that I drew behind, apparently I didn't use it. Who cares? I'll just go with this one. Make the font bigger so it's there. That is pretty lame, using the same font twice. You shouldn't use a lot of fonts when you're designing stuff. Your first easy mistake to spot of like a bad designer or a bad design in general is that they've got a billion fonts, but 2, maybe 3 fonts does make the world a better place, because that's a title, and then this is going to be more of a, you know, this is more for information. So let's see, what about this AR Julianne? Maybe we can use that second font we had. So just type in AR, going for that Julianne. That's not bad. I like that. It kind of has that classy vibe, you know? I ain't no jab turkey. Again, this is very simple. I will probably come back and spruce it up. So the next thing I'm going to show you is a little more that you can do with your lines or your paths. So with this, you've got your basic path. It's got a stroke. So we've got this line. If we want to just do 2 straight lines, kind of fill in this negative space, we could do that. That's cool. But underneath here, you have this little library, brush libraries menu. You can click down, and here are a bunch of things that aren't immediately easy to find. I'm going to go to decorative, and decorative, elegant, curl, and floral brushes, and it's going to pull up a whole sub-menu over here of choices we can use for our paths. So instead of just doing a straight line, you can change things. And to scroll through the menus once you have them open, if you don't know what's in there, just use this, and you can scroll through and be, you know, you can see kind of a lot of different things you can do. Everything from, if you're trying to design a border, maybe you want to do like cut along this line. These are good. They've got little scissors already there. If you're doing like brush strokes, something a little more artsy, pen strokes. So lots of cool things. And the coolest thing about this is it will actually follow the path that you draw. So if you're doing, you know, something crazy like that, I want to make sure you guys can see that. Yeah, you can see that. Okay, if you're doing something crazy like that and you draw this along it, it will follow that path. All of these will. So hold true even for the arrows. Instead of a straight arrow, now you've got this squiggly looking arrow. So lots of cool things. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to undo all that and get back to that simple line. And we're going to go back to our elegant curves because I think that's the appropriate style. So these, lots of cool things. Something to make note of is that these are direction sensitive. When I drew this line, I started on the left and I went to the right, and that's where it started and ended. So I will have to rotate that. And you'll notice that some of them are different than others. So like this one would start the opposite way from where I drew. So you can kind of get a feel for it. These are really cool to, you know, kind of put under things. I did a font series or a text box not too long ago, and I used a lot of these in them because I think they're nice. One thing to be aware of is that these tend to blow up or bloat like that, like they don't look anything like that. That's because the line isn't big enough or the stroke is too high. So you can come in and do like a 0.2 stroke to get that back into a nice shape that will follow what you're doing. I think I am going to use this. And I'm going to show you a unique issue that I haven't figured out how it works, but I'll show you that it exists. You can see this little black line here. That's the actual path. And then this shape is just superimposed over that actual path. So if you print, you will get that black line. And I don't know how to get rid of it. It might be the fill. Sure enough, I just solved a really big problem I've been having. Got rid of the issue. Anyways, The way that I would have fixed it before is select it, go to Object, and you can expand appearance. And what that will do is take it from the path you had to turning it into an actual shape. And what that means is instead of it following that line and like that arrow, how it bent, this will no longer do that. This now has its own form. If you don't like that, you can adjust, kind of clean it up, do whatever you want. It's its own shape now. So you get a little more control over it. So I'm going to take that, I'm going to place that there. I'm going to take the one down here, transform, reflect, boom, place that here. Now we got a couple nice flourishes going on. So now it's bent, it's down, so these are true mirror images of each other. We've got to save the date. In the last one that I designed, the save the date, it looks like I did this cool ribbon thing. What I actually did for this one is I chose to use 2 round teardrops. And when I did that, I realized it kind of looks like there's a ribbon there. And I went through and drew it out. And that's how that ended up coming to fruition, is that I realized that these look like the insides of a ribbon. So I'm going to try something a little different. That way Kayla has some options when we're picking out what we want to do. And I don't want them to be regular, so you can go to character. And this again will let you have tons of options about the font, how to make it taller, shorter, closer to each other and everything. I'm going to use superscript, which will make it taller. And then when we get out of here, you can see that it looks pretty good, but it looks a little squished. There you go. So now we've got a super simple save the date. This pen might be a little too much now, but there you go. Not the greatest thing in the world. I'm still not in love with it. That's why it is simple, but it looks too much like a handbill or some kind of ticket for a movie, and I'm not super crazy about it. And I kind of think I might want to do a photo on the save the date, because I realize I'm going to be sending this out to people who don't know who Kayla is. And Kayla might be sending this out to people who don't know who I am. And having your photo on the save date is a great way to give them an opportunity to at least see who it is I'm marrying. So that might be an option. Some things that are going to be on here that I'm not putting on just for privacy reasons is we also have a wedding registry website, and we also have the location of the wedding, which I'll also add on here at a later date. But that kind of gives you an idea, super simple idea for a save the date. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you don't like this video, hit the dislike button so I know. But if you hit the dislike button, tell me why. Let me know what I can do better. What don't you like about me? I'm so cute. What can you do? And yeah, I'm sorry I just did that. Subscribe. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, again, drop them in the comment box. Video done.